President Muhammadu Buhari has inaugurated the multi-billion dollars Dangote Fertilizers plant at Ibejuleke, Lagos. The plant, built at an estimated cost of $2.5 billion, has the capacity to produce 3 million metric tons of urea yearly. According to investigation, the plant is Africa's largest granulated urea fertilizer complex and occupies about 500 hectares of land in the Lekki Free Trade Zone. The plant is also expected to generate over $400 million in foreign exchange to the Nigerian economy from exportation of the products to other African countries. Similarly, CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele, who was present, stated that the Dangote fertilizer plant will further solve the perennial fertilizer problem and address Nigeria's demand and consumption. Now let's take a closer look at the country's fertilizers consumption market and its economic potential vis-a-vis the commissioning of the Dangote fertilizer plant on Tuesday in Lagos. Let's bring in our guest now, Mr. Yusuf Ogubi. He's head product structuring and origination at Apex Nigeria. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate your time, Mr. Ogubi.
Good morning. Nice to be here once again. Even more interesting to be discussing fertilizer today. Good morning.
Interesting. I mean, a country, Nigeria is estimated to need about 5 to 7 million metric tons of this particular product. With the Dangote fertilizer plant coming into the picture, how timely is this?
It's absolutely coming at a very good time, looking at the condition we are in the country and the global market. First of all, let me just track back a bit. So the fertilizer plant will be producing urea, which is a critical element in the entire fertilizer mix that we need in the country. So if you look at the situation we also have, Nigeria has about 3 of these major producers as of today. So we have Dangote, which is joining the fray now as the largest one. We have Notoria, we have Indorama as well as producing this commodity, this urea fertilizer. And in order to produce this urea fertilizer, you need natural gas, which Nigeria has a lot of it in terms of natural resource in the country. So we have the raw materials, we have the consumption. Nigeria consumes, even though we have one of the lowest forms of consumption per hectare in terms of fertilizer globally, it still shows you that the market is still a very huge one, and there's a lot of potential in this market. So that's on the one hand. On the other hand, you realize that the fertilizer market globally is in a very, very tight situation, and as much fertilizer as you can produce internally, in-house, in country, where you have the natural gas to produce this type of fertilizer, it's absolutely welcomed, and I really really laudable achievement for the Dangote Group bringing this fertilizer plant on board. I think it's very, very timely. It's going to help us moving into the coming.
Can you hear me? Hello, Mr. Ogubi. I guess we're having issues with connection with Mr. Ogubi. Hello, can you hear me? Well, we'll probably...
I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, go ahead. Let's finish on your thought.
So I said it's a very timely and wonderful achievement for the country. And I don't think there's any better time for this to come on board, looking at the tight global situation we are in. If you can produce urea in country, then you know that what you have left is to source the other elements of the fertilizer mix from other countries, Morocco especially, and you will be fine. But to a large extent, it's a very fantastic achievement, good for the country, good for Dangote, and it also helps us to bring in some much needed foreign exchange when the commodities urea is being exported out of the country.
And now, of course, according to a report that it's estimated to generate about $400 million annually from foreign exchange earnings. But then take us through the value chain here. You were trying to talk about the potential the economic potential, the market potential rather. Take us through the value chain, because you mentioned that you will need natural gas, and this, of course, perhaps may open more opportunities, in the downstream sectors and other byproducts as well.
Please, do you want to take that again? I missed the
Yes,
question.
yes, I was asking you that you talk about the fact that it will generate more money for us in terms of foreign exchange, and then, of course, you also mentioned about the value chain. You mentioned that you need gas, to put all of this together. So give us more details about the opportunity in the value chain as regards this.
So first of all, in order to produce urea, which is like, so in planting, you need three major nutrients. You need nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. And these are the nutrients, they are called macronutrients. They are nutrients you need in heavy quantities to plant. And in order to produce, urea is a major source of nitrogen to the plants, right? So in order to produce urea, you need natural gas. And Nigeria, as of today, has the largest confirmed reserves of natural gas in Africa. And that means that we have enough raw material to produce this urea, which will then be used to plant the crops that we would like to consume in the country. So working back, if you take it from the fertilizer urea production plant backwards, you see that there's a lot more opportunity for the producers of natural gas to sell their gas to plants like the ones Dangote has just completed. So it gives a lot more opportunity to utilize the gas we have in our reserves and increase our gas utilization.
Let me quickly come in here, Mr. Gumbi. I mean, this again takes us back to the Petroleum Industry Act that was the implementation was supposed to take off immediately. But how much of setback will that create or put in the way of this value chain? Because, of course, the gas producers and along that value chain will have to supply. This is a market for them already. But how much of setback do you think this will cause?
I wouldn't say I'm the best expert on the PIA, PIB as we've passed it today. So I can't really say so much on that side. But then what I've noticed is that the gas market is quite liquid, right? So the market is there, people are able to buy. We've seen companies across board, from cement companies to other industries in the country, trying to take advantage of the gas opportunities that we have. So in this case, I think the Dangote plant will be able to source gas from the various gas producers. Ordinarily, there will be bilateral agreements between the producers and Dangote fertilizer plants to agree on the price, the quantity to be delivered, how it will be delivered. So this bilateral agreement will guide their transactions.
Then let's also talk about the fact that Nigeria will need or require about 5 to 7 million metric tons of fertilizer annually. But then, of course, we're not even near. Yes, Dangote fertilizer plant is a plus, like you said earlier. But again, they are in business, and they are also targeting other African market. What is the implication of this? Because if we don't have enough to consume locally, I mean, why export?
Please, can you take the question again? I missed some sections of it.
Yes, I was saying, I mean, why export when you don't have even enough to consume locally? Because Nigeria will need about 5 to 7 million metric tons of these fertilizers annually. And so Dangote is a plus, like you said earlier, but then meeting the local demand is also an issue. But these people are in business, and they are targeting the other African countries as well. Yeah. So what's your thought about that? That yes, it's maybe impossible now to meet up with the local demand.
So to be honest, I think the fertilizer numbers you have looks at the entire volume of fertilizers we need in the country, not just urea fertilizer. It looks we need in the country, right? So, and that includes urea, it includes potassium, it includes phosphorus. So I don't know the exact volume of urea that is consumed in the country, but then what I've sensed is that if you mix all of these fertilizers together, you have some element, some proportion of urea fertilizer that is still available for export. Don't forget these.
Hello, Mr. Ogubi. Hello, Mr. Ogubi. Well, I was going to ask you one last question before we wrap up, but I guess I've lost the connection with you there.
Powerful looks command respect, they say. The perfect body, the perfect grooming, and ultimately the perfect skin. Looks, style, and grooming makes the ultimate man. I've found a ridiculously easy way to make my skin always feel epic. My name is Neo. I found Blemiviv, and now my skin finally makes sense. Most people don't understand the magic of the perfect skin, the allure of the well-pampered skin. We bounce from skincare products to skincare products, from spa to spa. Looking for that ideal solution. I found the solution. And it's Blemiviv Skincare and Spa. My name is Neo, and I'm proud to be a part of the Blemiviv family.
Mama, you're coming to Lagos. Banga. Baby, Mama just called me now. She's coming to see you. She asked me to tell you to make banga soup for her. And she's close to the house. Oh.
How do you expect me to prepare banga in just few minutes?
I have a solution for you.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You need to cook the banga. You're not going to enter my family.
Pali banga is used in making other exotic dishes such as banga jollof rice, banga efo riro, banga asaro or yam porridge, banga egusi, and many more. Pali Banga is easy to open, no preservatives, no cholesterol, and no coloring. Approved by NAFDAC. Manufactured by Pali Agro Products Limited. Available in all leading stores and supermarkets nationwide.
Pali Banga, natural palm fruit extract for tasty African cuisine.
Glad to have you back now. Of course, let's get back straight to Mr. Yusuf Ogubi, who is also standing by. Thank you for your time. Well, I mean, it's not surprising that we're having these internet issues, but of course we can have you now. But let's look at, I need you to quickly look at the fact that we need really to produce, you were talking about, we don't have, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, I can hear you.
Yes, it's okay that I mean we don't have that figure of how much we consume in terms of urea fertilizer and all of that. But again, let's also look at the issue of monopoly of the market as well. Some conversation around monopoly is ongoing, which also is saying that we need to regulate the price. Who should be in charge of the price control? Yes, we're going to have this fertilizer pump into the market as soon as possible, but then who is going to be in charge?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Mr. Ogubi, can you hear me?
Hello?
Yeah, Mr. Ogubi, can you hear me now? Well, I think we still have any issues with Mr. Ogubi's connection there. Can you hear me?
No, I can hear you now. I can hear you loud and clear now.
Yes, I was asking you, yes, we do not have the statistics in terms of how much urea fertilizer that the country consumes at the moment. Yes, we have a lot of them out there. But again, the issue of monopoly comes on the table. Who is going to be in charge of controlling the price control, price stability, so as to address the fears of monopoly of the market?
To be honest, I'm not really sure monopoly can play here. I think because the raw material required for urea is natural gas,
right.
It means that everybody is exposed to pretty much the same cost of production, except if you do some backward integration and you own some gas fields yourself, which I'm not sure how much profitable that would be. But then what I'm trying to say is that monopoly is a distant fear, to be honest. And I think the players in the industry typically have a sense of how much cost of production is generally. So it allows them to price their products appropriately. What I think should be more of a concern is the quality of your product. So if your product doesn't really provide the quality that is required in terms of nutrients, farmers just abandon them, honestly. And if you can ensure the quality, the premium quality, the top-notch quality, I think companies will continue to be able to perform well in that space, especially in the fertilizer market. Quality comes before price. And I think farmers have shown year after year that they would rather pay more for good quality fertilizer than just try to get one fertilizer that is cheap in the market. Because at the end of the day, it's garbage in, garbage out. If they put very good fertilizer in the soil, they'll get very good yields. If they put poor quality fertilizer in the soil, they get poor yields. So they also have recognized the importance of using good quality fertilizer, and they are willing to pay for it at the end of the day.
You know, why I ask that question is because you said we just have about 2 of them, producing at the moment in the country. So it means that there are no competitions at the moment. And so you have to have a healthy competition to have a healthy market as well. That's why I asked that question. Because if you have only two producers of this particular product, it means that there won't be any competition, and so they can actually control the price and dictate how much is being sold.